This episode of Another Great Day is brought to you by the last track on the CD, 32 Minutes. It's Wednesday, April 10th, 2024, and if you know what a secret track on a CD is, that means you're most likely a child of the 90s.
That's right.
How about track 0? Have you ever experienced track 0, Chris?
So there were these weird tracks in between that were like purposely for spacing and or talking. Lots of those 90s like hip hop albums had like little skits in between.
Interesting.
Like 5-second tracks.
I do remember some of those.
Yeah.
I specifically remember the album Lucky Streak by Less Than Jake, the ska band. If you pressed play as soon as the CD started and then hit the backwards, like rewind button, it would rewind for 45 seconds
A cheat code.
into a reverse secret track of them
What?
talking to one of their dads.
Oh.
Yeah. Which led into the intro, which the intro of the album, you would press play and it would go, "This is the old dude, Howard J. Reynolds, and you're listening to Less Than Jake." And then it would be like,
All right, I need you to do that voice for the intro for here. You're listening to Another Great Day.
"This episode of Another Great Day is brought to you by the last track on the CD."
That's it. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, welcome back to Another Great Day podcast. See, and I'm Aaron, and that's Chris over there.
Hello, we're here.
And we're actually recording live in a park in Denton today.
That's right.
So if you hear children laughing and
There's
or
live
crying
music next to us, actually. So we once again, like yesterday, we chose poorly. But
Yes.
we're going to carry on.
Indeed. Well, welcome to Another Great Day, the podcast designed for creativity, interaction, and conversation. I did those in a weird order.
Perfect.
And now, I think it's time for us to go check the old mailbag, Chris, and see what we have.
That is.
In
that
fact,
is
I
what's happening.
believe we have a letter here, which is actually from Mr. Terrible's cousin to Mr. Terrible.
Dearest cousin, Mr. Terrible, it's me, your cousin, Not So Bad. That's right, the little ones call me Mr. Not So Bad, because sometimes I'm not so bad. But something is bad. Your recent missive, the letter you sent, has left me profoundly vexed. Your attempts to spread malevolence have once again backfired spectacularly, much to my dismay. As the youngest scion of our esteemed family, I have long grappled with the weighty burden of my name. Not so bad. In a lineage replete with illustrious monikers such as horrendous, malevolent, and Mr. Diabolical, I have often found myself relegated to the ignominious position of being merely, quote-unquote, not so bad. The injustice of it all is enough to make one weep bitter tears of self-pity. But that's not why we're here. I am here because of your book, your latest creation, sir. I have the press release announcing your book right here. In a shocking display of literary incompetence, Mr. Terrible proudly announces the release of his abominable manifesto, the Handbook of Havoc, a guide to being extra terrible. This insufferable tome, filled with misguided advice and laughable attempts at villainy, promised to be a scourge upon the literary world, with prose as dull as a butter knife, and ideas as stale as a week-old bread. Mr. Terrible's book is sure to leave readers questioning their own sanity for even considering its contents. Prepare for an onslaught of disappointment and regret as this literary catastrophe hits shelves near you. Wow, what a press release. Can you imagine my dismay? You, the epitome of evil, authoring a manual of kindness and benevolence. It's a travesty. But I'm not giving up just yet. I will squeeze everything out of this book whatever wickedness I can find in your unintentional kindness and wisdom. With the book itself, the copyright. You messed it up. You were supposed to get the copyright so only you could own the book, but you pranced along into Creative Commons like a YouTube video made for everybody. And now anybody can take parts of your book and help others become kinder. The sheer brilliance in the wrong direction. So here I am, begrudgingly admiring your tenacity. Yes, indeed. But may your reign of accidental kindness persist even as I scramble to find my own path to villainy. Please enjoy the cake. Your begrudgingly not so bad cousin, Mr. Not So Bad.
Wow. I did not
love it.
expect that.
And it gets better and better and better. Well done. Well done, Mr. Not So Bad. All right. To lead us into this day in history.
There it is.
Yeah.
Outside of the park.
Woo.
Living it live.
Well, let me tell you, boys, a little bit about a copyright. It's a type of intellectual property that gives the creator of an original work or another right holder the exclusive and legally secured right to copy, distribute, adapt, display, and perform a creative work, usually for a limited time. That's right. I'm Prospector AP, and I just came up from the mines to tell you a little bit about copywriting, boys.
So the word copyright, which, as you heard earlier from Mr. Terrible's cousin,
Ah,
yeah, you heard about it there.
I like that, gentleman.
Copyright was first put into governmental law in 1710 on this day.
I do declare.
The Statute of Anne, known as the Copyright Act of 1709, which was put into...
I seen a statue of Anne before.
and it was
She's all right.
It was in England, and it helped pave the way for people to own what they wrote.
Interesting.
Because before this, you know who made sure people were attributed? They said that, Aaron, you wrote a song, or you wrote a story, or a legal paper.
Yeah?
Anybody could just take it,
Well,
and
how
use it,
about
and
that?
call it theirs.
No. I'd hunt them down.
A private company was in charge of making sure people didn't do that.
Wow.
And this was the first time a government took control of this. I feel like this is a proper governmental thing because it's really hard to
Protect your ideas.
protect the idea. Yeah, like this is
Yeah.
a weird deal.
It would make you not want to invent any more ideas that people could just rip you off.
So this is one of the great benefits of copyright, that people are pushed forward to create more because they can own what they create and
Wow.
make money off of what they create.
Chris, can I tell you about an invention I've been thinking about?
Oh no.
I was
What you got?
thinking about creating a mine car that was so simple to drive that even a monkey wearing a tie and a little monkey wearing a hat could operate.
Two
And
monkeys?
even if the rails weren't connected, that mine car could even hop.
Oh,
That's right. It'd be crazy. It'd be madness even. Mine car madness. All right. Thanks, Prospector AP. No problem, boys. Y'all take care and be good.
Aaron knows how to make me smile.
And that'll trim the hedges for today's This Day in History and bring us to the discussion question of the day. You hear that? That's right. We brought Fred out here to the park with us. He's crushing it on his guitar. Here's a question. Here is a question. What is something creative you have made that you would like to copyright? Or something somebody around you made that was so fun it should be copyrighted? Or what is one song or movie you would like to own the copyrights to? So either what would you do, what has your friend done, or what is
Someone
something
else.
famous that you would like to take credit
Because
for?
if you owned a song, like if I owned Happy Birthday,
Ooh.
nobody could sing it, which is actually the case.
Yes, that's true.
Well, actually, they couldn't use it to make money.
That's interesting.
That's why you never hear Happy Birthday on TV,
Oh, that's
because
fascinating.
it is copyrighted.
Oh, you're right. Huh. Well, I think if there was something creative that I could make, it'd probably be that mine car that old Prospector AP was just talking about. I'd want to invent that. I think that sounds really cool.
I think I'd like to own the copyright and royalties to The Final Countdown.
Ooh.
Yes. So anytime anyone played it, I got paid money.
That's amazing. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yes.
All right. Well, if you have something you'd like to copyright, whether you invented it, someone else invented it, or someone famous invented it, let us know in the question below. And now, on to the part of our show we have lovingly started calling the Dad Joke of the Day. All right, let's hear from our field reporter, Wes McFall.
Hey there, guys. Did you know that Bigfoot is sometimes confused for Sasquatch? Yet he never complains. Have another great day.
Oh my goodness.
Good job, Wes. Sasquatch
Wow.
joke.
He
Solid.
did it again.
Solid as a rock. Awesome. All right. We'll wrap things up with our last segment called The Story of the True Hero from the Book of Mark, chapter 5, verses 1 through 20.
This is a long one, and I will preface it by saying this one talks about some dark spiritual forces.
Ah, got it.
So if you don't want young kids to hear it, you can, or listen to it later on your own. It's up to you.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. Mark 5, verses 1 through 20. I'll read probably the first 10 or so, and you can carry on, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
So they came over the sea to the land of Gerasenes. So they were on a boat. They were over, and I think, this is where they had the storm. Yesterday we had the storm.
Yeah, we had a
so
storm
they were on the
yesterday.
water. Now they're landing. And so here we go. When they got out of the boat, they were suddenly confronted by a man with an unclean spirit. He was emerging from a graveyard, which was where he lived. Nobody had been able to tie him up, not even with a chain. He had often been bound with shackles and chains. But he used to tear up the chains and snap the shackles. No one had the strength to tame him. On and on, night and day, he used to shout out in the graveyard on the hillside and slash himself with stones. When he saw Jesus a long way off, he ran and threw himself down in front of Jesus. "Why you and me, Jesus?" he shouted at the top of his voice. "Why you and me, Son of the high God? My God, stop torturing me." This last because Jesus was saying to him, "Unclean spirit, come out of him." "What's your name?" Jesus asked him. "Legion," he replied. "That's my name. There are lots of us." And he implored Jesus not to send them out into the country.
It so happened that right there near the hillside was a sizable herd of pigs. They were grazing. "Send us to the pigs," begged the spirits, "so that we can enter them." So Jesus gave them permission. The unclean spirits came out and went into the pigs. The herd rushed down the steep slope onto the sea, about 2,000 of them, and were drowned. The herdsmen fled. They told it in the town. They told it in the countryside, and people came to see what had happened. They came to Jesus, and there they saw the man who had been unclean spirit possessed, who had had the legion, seated, clothed, and stone cold sober. They were afraid. The people who had seen it all told them what had happened to the man and to the pigs, and they began to beg Jesus to leave their district. Jesus was getting back into the boat when the man asked if he could go with him. Jesus wouldn't let him. "Go back home," he said. "Go to your people and tell them what the Lord has done for you. Tell them how he had pity on you." He went off and began to announce in the 10 towns what Jesus had done for him, and everyone was astonished.
So, as a pretty dramatic story, and this reading here, I'm about to read from this commentary book because it was just so good on its own. This is intense stuff. This is great. This is really good. Here, ready? So, this is what it says. So, what was going to happen when the man who was announcing God's kingdom, Jesus, God's sovereign rule over all human rule, comes face to face? When Jesus comes face to face with someone obsessed and possessed by Rome and her unclean legions. There was deep symbology with legion and the Roman legions.
That makes sense.
God's kingdom is to bring healing, restoration, justice to Israel, right? If unclean beings are fouling up human lives, the answer is plain. Into the sea with them. But it's not that easy. Again, Mark is telling us to look at the bigger story, at the climax of Mark's story, at the end of the book. Jesus himself will end up naked, isolated, outside the town, among the tombs, shouting incomprehensible things as he is torn apart on the cross by the standard of Roman torture, his flesh torn to ribbons by small stones
Whoa.
in the Roman lash. just like this guy was torn himself with small stones.
Wow.
Mark is
Amazing
saying-
parallels.
Mark is saying, this is how demons are dealt with. That is how healing takes place. Jesus is coming to share the plight of the people, to let the enemy do its worst to him, to take the full force of evil on him, to let the others go free.
Wow.
I had never thought that deep about this.
Me neither.
I was like,
I took it at face value.
this
But
means,
Jesus healed this guy, which is great.
yeah. But it's,
never took
it's
it to the next
deeply
level.
symbolic. Yeah.
Man, God is awesome.
So,
So multifaceted. Well, Chris, let's hit the music and call it a day. Yep. Our mission here on Another Great Day podcast is to encourage interaction, creativity, and conversation.
and if you enjoy us being outside in the park, or not in a park, or in the rain, or anywhere, really, hit like and subscribe and do those things.
Yes, help us beat the internet.
Most importantly, hope that you make it
Another
great
great
day. Oh, wait, there's some kids coming over. What do they want to do? Oh, are you going to say day? Hello. Oh, they say hello.
Okay.
All right. Farewell.
Thanks, Parker.